Hey guys, this is Tom Hanks, and today we will have the first race in the tuning challenge of the Classic Rally competition. Hey Logoris, how's it going? Thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime, I really appreciate it. This is the third month in a row, by the way. Awesome. Hey Lowlife Max Camber, how are you doing? Hey Gerbil how are you doing? How am I doing? Well, pretty good today. I mean, today is Sunday, so can't be that bad, right? Sunday is always a good day, isn't it? Like, or usually, shall we say. I'm gonna switch over to BeamNG. As always, it's gonna take a hot second to actually show up. By the way, I've got new internet. My new modem is here, and I've got a new contract as well. So you should, in theory, see better stream quality starting today. Because I was also able to up the bitrate in my streaming settings. So we will have Italy mixed circuit today. I will start with my own car. And this time I was actually able to test drive all of the cars before the first stream. So I know somewhat. I know a little bit about what to expect with these cars. And speaking of cars and submissions, we have 7 competitors this time around. So in this challenge, we only have 7 competing cars. So on the flip side, this means that because I decided to give the Yellowbird to 3 people, so the top 3 overall are gonna get the Yellowbird. This means that, well, your odds going into this are 3 out of 7 to get the prize car, which is not bad, right? It's almost 50%. So yeah, this is my own tuned 500 SL. I kept this thing naturally aspirated, and it makes 500 horsepower on the dot. So pretty powerful car. Went from 240 in the base version to 500 horsepower in this one. And speaking of competitors, we have, as I said, 7 competitors. 4 of them are between 500 and 600 horsepower. 1 is a little bit below, and 2 are above 600 horsepower. So overall, the field is pretty close together on paper. So it's really gonna come down to who made the best setup car in terms of not necessarily engine power, but mostly in terms of balance, balancing the car. Great look, thanks. Oh, I think I damaged something or broke something, definitely. Ah, I was a little bit too enthusiastic. I think my car is going to fall short on a straight, says the guy with the most powerful engine in the field. Top speed only 200? Nah, I think it's more than that. Anyway, it should be enough. It should be enough for here anyway. But depending on how well damped the car is, you may be able to see a higher top speed on Utah. Because Utah has like a very long straight on it, but it's not perfectly straight. There's some like slight bends in it, and it's very bumpy, so you can't actually get to a car's top speed there. But that is where the suspension is really gonna play a big role. Is on Utah. The damping has to be good enough to soak up the bumps and not unsettle the car too much, and yet it still needs to corner neatly. Oh, went a little bit too fast there. On Pikes Peak, you think it's gonna struggle with only 200 kilometers an hour? Where on Pikes Peak would you even hit 200 kilometers an hour, except maybe in the very first section before the first hairpin? Oh man, I'm losing it. You know, one thing that sounds maybe a little bit stupid, but especially on this track, the size of these cars can be a little bit of a problem because the car is so long, because obviously it's a Mercedes SL. That you can't always, you know, corner the way you would want to, because if you know, ideally, especially in the gravel sections, you want to be sideways so you can keep up the momentum better. But if the path is so narrow that if you're fully sideways, the car might not fit properly onto the track, then you've got a bit of a problem. If the car were smaller, it would be less of an issue, like we've seen in, I want to say, the 1982 season, where the cars, oh shit, yeah, where the cars were much lighter because they were much smaller, and you know, the minimum weight was lower, so everyone chose to go for smaller cars there. That corner, that merging onto the gravel there, is deceptively tricky because there's a bump right at the apex there as well. So you really gotta be careful. You can't sort of attack that apex. You gotta be patient. Sort of slow and steady, and then once you're past that bump, or once the front wheels clear it, then you can step on it. Thank God you can go through those traffic signs. I went too fast there still. And I thought I knew this circuit, but in my defense, last time we were here, the cars were not as fast as these. Did I miss that checkpoint? I did. Why does it understeer there when it didn't the last time? Like, oh my god. Nice corner there, thanks. That attempt was doomed though. That corner is also very tricky. Gonna stay in fourth here. There we go. There we go. How is the stream looking? Are you noticing any difference compared to the previous couple of streams? 235.7. Looks better. Okay. Awesome. Great to hear. So 235.7. Obviously set by my own car, so outside of the competition. The first actual competitor is not this, but this. The 500 SLC Falcon tuned. So, this is made by Logoris, and it has a twin turbo engine, and it makes 731 horsepower. This is the most powerful car in the competition, but it's pretty laggy. So we'll see if it can actually benefit from the extra oomph, or whether it would have rather benefited from a bit more torque. Once BeamNG decides to load in the car, we can actually take a bit of a look at it as well. There it goes. So bright, sort of yellowish, like dark yellow, with some carbon fiber as well. The side body panels and the bumpers are also carbon fiber. It's got a see-through hood, so you can look at that engine. Detuned it a little. It used to be 771. Okay. And since I didn't specify that you can't change the crankshaft, this is actually a flat plane V8. I should have specified that though. I should have said in the rules that it needs to stay a crossplane, but oh well. I didn't. And the engine stalled right there. It stalled us there again. Good use of the handbrake there, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to turn there. It does have a pretty hefty amount of understeer, I have to say. What's the power split in this one? Front to rear? I can't remember. Obviously I saw it when checking the car out in automation before I exported it, but... Nice and tidy there. %63 rear. Is this... I remember one car is on off-road tires. Is it this one? Because that might explain why it sort of understeers. Because I found that I think I still don't quite know for sure, but I think the way it works is automation calculates you know, G numbers, right? So how much cornering G a car has. And that greatly depends, of course, also on your tire choice. But then Beam and G seems to be taking that figure and then applying it to the car, and so the same car on say sports tires would make more cornering G in automation. Therefore, I think it would turn quicker in Beam and G as well. And also brake harder, of course. It's on mediums, okay. .4. So 10 seconds slower than my car. It really did struggle putting its power to the ground, whether that be, you know, at the start of a corner turning in. So you could, I think medium tires were probably not the right choice here. Maybe they're better in Utah. We'll have to see. But here it doesn't seem that the tire choice has worked out too well. Because you saw at the end, like the final corner, we were fully sideways in an all-wheel drive car on tarmac. Hey Twingo boy, how's it going? It was tuned for Pikes Peak, okay. So, the thing is, I understand that as well, because Pikes Peak is like in Group B, or I suppose after Group B, the Pikes Peak run of the Audi Quattro S1 with Walter Röhrl behind the wheel, that was, you know, it was an epic run. It really kind of elevated the popularity of Pikes Peak even further. I mean, it was already a well-respected race before that run, but that was a truly iconic moment of motorsport history. And since then, Pikes Peak is sort of looked at as one of the kind of super special stages, and I agree with that. You know, it's an awesome stage. This is the hang on, this is the GB3 Type 1, I think. Yeah, and so that one is by Discord user Azubal. And I think this is the first submission I've ever had from him, so this is also turbocharged and it makes 597 horsepower. Also flat plane, as you can hear. And loves to oversteer. Funny how he put the Eco onto the number plate there. I don't think this car would actually be very economical. Or any of these cars, really. That was a little too long on the front. Okay. I don't know. I kind of brain farted there. Is it just me, or are the brakes on this just a little worse than on the other cars? This doesn't feel much faster than the other cars, and I'm braking at about the same point. And yet it doesn't seem to slow down as much, so it must be the brakes. Oh, come on. I thought I got through there. Mind games is how you sell cars, isn't it? Or products in general. Car was very nervous in high speed. At any speed, really, but what I mean is you don't really... Even though this has a sizable rear wing and a rear diffuser, you don't really get the sense that this makes a whole lot of downforce. And the engine just stalled. And now we're in the trees. Yeah, indeed, your car is very high revving and also loves to slide. Haven't driven it here in the race yet, but I have test driven all cars, you know, kind of behind the scenes before, like off camera. In BeamNG only wings give downforce. I'm pretty sure it just takes the downforce numbers from automation, so whatever figures or even the entire downforce curve that automation spits out, pretty sure that just carries over to BeamNG. It's just the fact that, you know, generally speaking, on an 80s car, usually a diffuser doesn't add as much downforce as a wing does. Obviously, these days, when you have super aerodynamically improved or enhanced underbodies and a massive Venturi tunnel and a big diffuser, then these days a diffuser can add a lot of downforce. Your account on what got deleted? On Discord? Yeah, there was a time where, you know, before Discord was really a thing, and when the challenges took place on the automation forums, there we would submit either through the forums or actually, yeah, in my early challenges on the channel, you would submit per email. Yeah, indeed. What happened there? I thought the one signal was go already, so that's what happened there. So you can contact me per email. You can find my email address on the main page of my YouTube channel. Or you could theoretically also make a new Discord account and use my Discord link to rejoin. Need to focus here to actually get this thing across the line. Very bouncy here. And now go. Please don't oversteer here. Okay, there we go. $246.8. Second place so far. Can we have both Discord and email? What do you mean by that? Do you think... do you think it should... are you saying it should be... we should have two valid options for submissions, for submitting, so that people can submit either through Discord or through email? Or do you want my contact infos right now? Was that what you were asking? I also found that you were oftentimes you were often somewhat aggressive towards one particular Discord user. So I would like you to kind of tone that down a bit if you do rejoin my Discord. This is the 500 SLC Group BR3 made by GerbylDerp. I broke the front right suspension there. It looks awesome and it sounds brutal as well. Pretty sure this has like no mufflers whatsoever. As you can see by the lack of a boost gauge, this is naturally aspirated, and this makes 442 horsepower. Okay. It does feel quite fast, yeah. Good gearing, good torque. Good downforce here as well. Good high speed balance. Oh shit, too late on the brakes there. RGT rally cars. Ah, got stuck on the wall again. RGT rally cars. I don't know if I'm aware of what that is. Oh, come on. This car feels good, by the way. It's really good to drive. Yeah, but if I take a bad line, then it's not so good. See, this is the problem with choosing the SF as a pace car. Again, it's, you know, it's a story based on a real world occurrence. So that's the main reason why I chose this car. But the problem with it is that it's so damn big. So getting a nice corner here is... There we go, but it's pretty difficult. Good corner there. Ah, shit, just a bit too late on the brakes. Yeah, I think it's better that you didn't keep the automatic. In fact, everyone went manual, so... No! I think suspension's still good. No, suspension's not good. Those walls, dude, like... I think the sheer size of the car is probably one of the major reasons why Mercedes' attempt to turn this into a rally car didn't go so well. Because obviously the 5-liter V8, being a 5-liter V8, has a lot of potential for power. And if they really had outfitted it with all-wheel drive, it could have been a pretty mighty competitor. Good corner there. Slight enough understeer, but we're still okay. .237.2, awesome. Very, very good. Next up is the Mercedes 500 SLC Group B Rally. And yes, we just saw this one, and now we see that both of them are kind of silver, although this one's a bit darker and more has more stickers on it. This one is built by Mr. Hugo Oyon on Discord. And I genuinely feel like this last car was 9 seconds faster than the other two. It generally felt like it. It's not like I was completely, messing up with the other two. It was just like they were not as well balanced as this one, not as grippy, not as responsive. So this one is actually inspired by a real-world Mercedes 500 SL racing car, but not, obviously not the real rally car, because, But he specified in his Discord post when he shared the design of this car what this was inspired by as well. Like it's in the automation subchannel of my Discord. I can't remember which exact race car it was, but definitely a real world inspired livery. It's got mud flaps as well. It's got 2 sets of auxiliary headlights. It looks awesome. And this thing makes 507 horsepower, and it is turbocharged. But before we start, I'm gonna lock the center and front diff, because I found this was the best setup for this car here. I'm going a bit too fast here. Size down the number plates. I don't think I can right now. Come on. Spitting flames, yeah, that's how it's done. It's a Group B car after all. Just about made it. That corner is getting increasingly difficult. Now we can see how well this does, not only here, but also as far as high-speed stuff goes overall, pretty damn well. I still think locking the front diff is better than not locking it on this car though. Although it can make the car seemingly overreact sometimes. And for some reason I feel like the brakes aren't very good, but maybe that was just me being late on the brakes again. Also definitely possible. That's what I meant with overreact. Oversteer, really. But, yeah, sometimes this turn-in oversteers and sometimes it doesn't. And there it understeered for whatever reason. Come on. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try and unlock the front diff now. The brakes are still not good enough. Very delicately around that corner. Now we can open it up. Now we have a little bit of understeer here in the higher speed. Come on. Ah, that little curb, I was just a bit too far on the left side there. Just a little bit too aggressive with my line, and that cost me the run. I'm pretty sure I would have finished otherwise. Oh, come on. This is the first time I've hit that tree today. I added that today. At the end there, you see. Why is it so unstable on the braking all of a sudden? And that time it's rock solid on the braking. Dude, the brakes on this are just garbage. I don't know what's going on. They're pretty warm now as well, as you can see in on the temperatures. They're nearly 300 degrees. I know brakes don't overheat at that sort of temperature, but certainly I wouldn't say that nearly 250 to 300 degrees would be optimal. That corner is indeed rough. Like, I maintain that if the car was smaller, that corner would be easier. But because the car is so long, that particular corner is very difficult to get through smoothly. There we go. Not only because the corner is tight, but because the track is so narrow and there's walls either way. What is up with the brakes in this car? I was so gentle on the brakes there, and yet it still kind of completely lost control. Can someone keep an eye on the brake temperatures while we as we approach that part? Okay, there we go. We have two more hard braking zones. One is gonna be near the edge of like near the edge of the river there. And that tight hairpin, and then one is gonna be after passing the petrol station. Okay, this has gotta be the brake balance. It's gotta be the brake balance. Because there I was really not hard on the brakes and it just completely spun. It went to 330C. That's not terrible, I think. For a brake disc anyway. I don't care if I lose, but I'll look good doing it, yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna finish at all, though. Because if it keeps randomly losing balance on braking, because it doesn't always do it, that's the thing. You never know when it's gonna do it and when it's not. So that was the first point I mentioned, and the second is gonna... Oh no, there is also gonna be a big braking point there. But I don't think I'm gonna stay on the throttle much longer here. Careful around here. Just about caught it. That was scary. Hold it together now. And there we have it, 244.3. Almost no rear brake power, and fronts have no ventilation. Yeah, that's what it seems, yeah. There also doesn't seem to be much weight transfer on comfort brakes. Is this on comfort brakes? I don't know. Anyway, next up, the Mercedes 500 SL3 Project B1. This one's made by Random 41. We are very cold. Okay. Can we do normal road cars next? So next series is going to be a race series. So again, real life inspired. But to be honest, after this series, I think I'm gonna take a bit of a break with automation, a few weeks at least, and I'm gonna stream different things. Not for two reasons. Not only to not burn myself out from the game and to lose my my fun with it, but also because I wanna kind of get more active on the automation forums, speak to people, and make sure I can actually share my videos and my challenges on the automation Discord as well. and so then we can get more people involved in the future. This, by the way, has a very simple look to it. It's just blue and low and has side pipes. And I mean, it looks good, but it sort of looks like a resto mod where someone took an old 500 SL that was kind of rusty, then restored it, flared the arches, kind of lowered it, did whatever they wanted with it. This doesn't look like something that would actually compete in rallying. And in my test driving of it, I found it to be a little bit scary as well. It has 572 horsepower, by the way. Goes like stink, but it's one of those kind of fast and loose cars. And these kind of cars usually do well at Pikes Peak, because there you don't need a whole lot of downforce, and you want to go at Pikes Peak. You basically only have hairpins for your corners, and there you want to go fully sideways for the best possible time. But here, yeah. I also gotta remember that in that tight corner I gotta use first gear, because first gear in this is as long as most people's second gear. Doesn't seem to be any sort of hindrance at launch, there's plenty of torque. Look at that acceleration. This also has an interesting brake balance, it seems. Honestly, when I test drove this car, I felt, oh boy, I don't know if I'm even gonna finish with this. I gotta try. I gotta give it a good old try, but not like that. Dude, this, as I said, this is fast and loose, so it's really, really tricky to keep this stable and under control. I think this also has a wider front than rear tires, and it's got like a 62% rear power split. So Yeah, it does that. But that's not always desirable. And even though this has a rear spoiler, it honestly doesn't seem to be doing anything during those quick corners. I don't know if I'm gonna finish with this. It just wants to drift everywhere. And you can't stop it, because there's no traction at all on the rear. And there's no rear downforce either, so... As you saw there, we went at that high-speed corner at what? 160 kilometers an hour? Fully sideways immediately. Even when you're trying not to go sideways, it goes sideways. Well, I think I figured it out for that one corner, but... This is the furthest I've made it so far with this car. Focus now. In fact, I broke the front right suspension. But if I can, I'm finishing this. Thought that was it. Okay. So much for the finish. Oh my god. The struggle is real indeed. When I first test drove this car, I thought this was rear-wheel drive. It isn't, but that's how it feels. Like, what's the point of making a car that's all-wheel drive if you don't use it to improve the traction of your car at all? Rear biased or small rear tires. So the rear tires aren't actually that small. I think it's like 290s, but the fronts are 305s. Really, I missed that checkpoint. And also, I think 62% of the power goes to the rear. It's also super low, and the suspension is apparently also pretty stiff, so overall this would make a great drift car, but unfortunately that's not what we're after here. You see this? I just turned in like I did with every other car. You really gotta tame the beast here with this one. Because it is a beast. That engine is insane. Really well done on the engine tune. This pulls super hard. But really, like, I don't remember if I've ever seen an all-wheel drive car that struggles this much for traction. Careful here, because we got no downforce. $244.3. Actually, still second place. Barely. But ahead of the previous car. Good job, thank you. We got two more cars. So this one, I think, is by Twingo Boy. The Rally Sport MRC 500. That was a wild ride. So I'm pretty like I feel like there's quite a bit of space between the leader with a 237 and then the next best car is a 244. So there's like 7 seconds between the first two places right now. But we have seen one car that was pretty controllable and well tuned and then the others who were all very difficult to control. And that's where the big time the big time loss on those cars comes from. So a pretty simple British racing green with like a black secondary color here, a rear wing, some auxiliary lights on the front, a bonnet scoop. Looks decent. Those exhaust pipes are pretty much the craziest aesthetic feature of this car, I'd say. I think I damaged the front right suspension, could that be? Well, we'll see on the straight. Yeah, I did. It's pulling to the right now. Yeah, I can't finish like this, so let's reset. That's a cheeky back rear license plate, by the way. I don't know if that's gonna get the video demonetized on YouTube. Then again, it's only Pennsylvania and 1569, right? That's obviously what that stands for, right, guys? This car is much grippier than the last one. Really, I missed that checkpoint. Yeah, I did. Okay, that was me going into that corner too fast. Can't blame the car for that. I damaged the front right again. Okay, I don't know what happened there. I must have downshifted one too many times. And I thought this car was grippy. All of a sudden it's not. Okay, we lost the front wheel, front left wheel. Man, minor impacts on BeamNG are just so brutal. Your entire run is ruined. Okay, that was just super slow. I wouldn't have. It wouldn't have been fair if I had finished that run. Just oh come on! It didn't count. But yeah, a small impact against anything in BeamNG is basically like, or can easily be run ending. Still made it round. I don't know what it is, why this car feels so unstable, but is it the tires or does it have like actually no downforce or... 246.9. Is that last? Yeah, that's last place actually. Damn. I wasn't expecting it to be that bad. But we have one more car here. That's tuned by LLMC, and that particular livery is inspired by the Red Pig as was its nickname. I think that was originally like the first race car that AMG made themselves, based on I think a Mercedes 600 at the time, and its German nickname was Die Rote Sau, and that translates into the Red Pig, basically. Yeah. It was an iconic race car in like the 60s or so. Maybe early 70s. And that's what this livery is inspired by, from LLMC. And it looks good. We do appear to have some downforce on the rear, but not a lot. You can see your front lip. Don't know how many there are stacked on top of each other there, of course. That's something you can still do. But yeah. I actually don't remember if I have the interior mod, but this also loves to slide, apparently. Oh, the interior is missing. Yeah, so evidently I don't have it. Okay, that was overly ambitious here. I tried. I tried bringing it back. This car, by the way, makes 699 horsepower. In case I didn't mention it. But yeah, now after driving some of these cars, I really do understand why why Mercedes didn't actually make a Group B version of their 500 SL. No offense meant, but it's just difficult to balance a large car like this when you're trying to race with it. I mean, they tried, but I understand why they didn't succeed. It was doomed from the start, yeah. .248.0. Really? That's the slowest time. Oh my... Wow. Okay. Now, the problem was it just couldn't put its power to the ground. And in first place, we have Tom. Hey, man. I came up with the challenge and, you know, I've spent plenty of time to make my car. Let's put it that way. That's all I'll say. But anyway, in first place, we actually have Gerbil Derp with a 237.2. So since we only have 7 participants this time, he will get 7 points. Then 7 seconds behind him, we have Random 41 in second place, surprisingly, because I really didn't feel like it was the... Like, everything... Here's the thing, you can see, between first and second place, we have a 7-second gap, and then everything's pretty close together. And then, and that just shows that the only car that I didn't severely struggle in, or that was controllable enough for me to set a fast lap, was this one. Every other car, I've had a pretty rough time. Third place, we're gonna have Hugo Oyon. Fourth place, we have the Falcon. Then we have a GP3 Type 1, which is here. Then we have the Rally Sport MRC 500. Now, to wrap up this stream, I'm basically about to commit suicide. I think some of the cars that struggled here will be strong at Pikes. I have the same feeling, yeah, definitely. But how about Utah? Any predictions on Utah? I don't dare predict Utah. Pretty much the same order. Yeah, but you saw that, you know, 2nd through 6th place was extremely tight together, so... Well, 2nd through 7th even was pretty damn close, so... Actually, before I start here, let's take a look at this one. The Yellowbird, the prize car. The Roof CTR. Thinking about it, that this was a street car, a road legal production car that you could just buy from the showroom floor. This thing's pretty crazy. Obviously, the big thing we're missing here compared to the competing cars is all-wheel drive. So I'm gonna take this one nice and slow. Takari Thomas, thank you for following. Yep, don't use the handbrake. Don't use the handbrake. Yep. And go on the grass. Yeah, okay. No, we can't get back to the track. Is that a Porsche? Almost. It's a Roof CTR, aka the Yellowbird. So technically, no, it's not a Porsche, and like 90% of this car are new compared to the then standard Porsche, including Roof's own 5-speed manual gearbox that they developed in-house. But look how fast it is here. 180 or so top speed, that's not far off of our tuned 500 SLs that we just had, so... It does make 469 horsepower, so it's no slouch. Ouch. Ugh. It would drive better with all-wheel drive. Yes, of course it would, but obviously with this being a replica of a real-world car, the real car didn't have all-wheel drive. So there's your answer to that. Oh no, had I not hit that curve, I would have actually set a pretty good split time there. No trouble going through that corner though, at least, because this car is smaller than the 500 SL. Have you ever found a car based on a real thing have all-wheel drive and the real car doesn't? I mean, okay, so in case you're new to this channel and the series, what we do here is we build cars in a game called Automation, and then export them here to BeamNG and race them. So I set the rules, and you know, the winner will get a prize car. This is the prize car for the ongoing challenge, and it is a replica that I made of the Roof CTR. Obviously, I could make this car all-wheel drive if I wanted to, but then it wouldn't be a replica. And obviously the winner, or rather the winners of because the top 3 are gonna get this car, they can then do with the car whatever they want. They can make it all-wheel drive if they want. Hell, they can engine swap it, whatever. Automation has near endless possibilities when it comes to that, but the car that I built here is as close as I could make it to the real thing. So it is rear-wheel drive. Oh no! No problem, no need to apologize. I thought I had it on that run. This is where this car shines, though. Yellow bird just took off. You know what? You know where this car actually shines? Is here. It's a beautifully made car, well done. Thank you. I'm gonna just not bother trying with the Yellowbird on the rally track anymore. It's not made for that. But it was the fastest car in the world when it launched in 1987. So what better way of demonstrating that than an endless highway? Look at it go. Even by today's standards, that acceleration is impressive. 250 already. $280. 300. It did reach 342 kilometers an hour in 1987. And we're closing in on that here as well. Give it a second, it's gonna pick up again. Did actually briefly hit 346 there. There you go. Yeah, very stable too. Even on the braking, I didn't even have to correct the steering on the braking either. So that was it. Thank you guys for watching. That was round 1 of the tuning challenge. Do I ever do brake testing? Normally it's not something that I do very often, but you know, sometimes I do add the here you go, the performance timers, and that'll obviously show me both acceleration and braking. .8, it can do it faster. If I get a good launch, I can do it faster. Come on. That was actually slower. I think the real car can do like, what, 4.2? Yeah, managing the wheel spin is the real challenge here. Okay, that's not it. Thanks for yeah, no problem. Let's try and get a good launch on this. Lost it there. Short shifted. I thought the launching RPM was pretty good though. There you go, 4.4. Let's do 200 to 0. 199 to 0. Close enough. 5.25 seconds in a car from 1987. No ABS, mind you. That's pretty good. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. And the next race for this season is going to be next Saturday. So next Saturday at 6 p.m. Central European Standard Time. And yeah, it's going to be right here on my Twitch channel again. Hope to see you there. Until then, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.